What's next for me? Well, I'm still, my biggest thing is,
What's the secret?
no
That's
pun
an alley-oop.
On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up.
Welcome back to the Fine Podcast. Every week we bring on an interesting guest and we talk about defining moments and what defines them as an individual. Today, we got a special guest. Beast from the East, Brooklyn native. He went from promoting in the city to traveling all over the world. He's been on over 70 vacations and now teaches people how to have fun, freedom, and fulfillment. My boy, Jay AON. What it do, my boy?
What's going on?
Yo, listen, I've been following you for a while. You and the people, the people that you roll with, and I'm inspired, man. I'm inspired. It's literally true when people say, especially like in network marketing, the industry that you're in, that everybody's watching. Because I've been a spectator like this whole time, and I've learned so much from you guys. And I just want to say I appreciate you coming on to the podcast, and we're going to get into your life and your story and journey and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, no, that's crazy, man. Because I didn't know.
You didn't know me from the hole in the
wall.
wall.
Like, how he knows how many trips I used to go? I've been on way more than that now.
Yeah. Talk your shit, boy.
That was a couple years ago. It was 70.
Yeah.
Now we're probably at 100. But I like just knowing that was just like how you didn't ask me for that information.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy to see that people are always watching.
I learned this thing for network marketing. It's called 6 degrees of separation. You know someone that knows someone that knows someone.
It's a fact. And it's even closer now because of social media.
Yeah.
It's very close.
And that's all it is, man. I see people that I'm inspired by and I follow them. I have no ego, no thing behind it. It's just like I want to learn, bro. I'm a student to life. And I see people like you who was raised in the inner city just like me, who's doing big things, and I can appreciate that because I know how hard it is to come out of that mindset. Fuck the struggle, fuck anything else. It's the mindset that we are programmed to think.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about this, man. So you didn't always have this mindset.
Definitely not.
No?
Definitely.
So how did that transition? When did you realize that in order for you to change and live the lifestyle that you live now, that you first have to change your mindset in order for that to be your reality?
I think coming from where we came from, being brought up in the hood and, it was the bottom of the bottom,
Yeah.
humble beginnings, I think you want better, but sometimes people have that victim of either the mentality of I'm the victim instead of being the victor, so all the, negative situations that I was around, it just inspired me to not want to stay there and want to just grow and be better and do better. You know what I mean? So I just didn't know how I was going to get there. And it was by any means necessary. Yeah. But as I, got around different people, they always say, you are who you surround yourself with.
Facts.
So once I got around a network of people who were doing better, that wanted better, that truly helped me elevate my level of thinking. And after that, it was personal development, personal seminars, that was big, man. If it wasn't for that, I probably would have never changed my mindset.
So what was the early days like for you? So you was raised in Brooklyn. Were you born in New York?
Yeah, born and raised.
Born and raised in Brooklyn. You lived in the hood, Bed-Stuy?
Bushwick, Bed-Stuy. Yeah.
Okay. It was roofless over there. Roofless. You make it out of there by playing ball, rapping, doing something like that. But most people now like scamming, doing hood shit. You decided to go to a route that most people are skeptical in the city. It's like roofless. People don't want to hear like what you got to say about that type of business, right? And you in network marketing. Let's just be clear, right? And I want to say this. I want to make a bold statement. Network marketing changed my life. Even though I was in it for a short period of time, it created a paradigm shift in my mind to allow me to believe that everything that I want and envision, it can be a reality as long as I work towards it and surround myself around people who are much smarter than me. I.e., like people like you created a massive, massive empire just by being introduced to something that you may have been skeptical at one point. Were you?
Hell yeah, very skeptical.
Yeah, because I seen a video of you speaking to Jay, and you was like, "Yo, I've heard people talking about it, right? But then I got confirmation that Jay was doing his thing.
Yeah. So the key, I think, of course, growing up in Brooklyn, you don't trust no one or nothing. You know what I mean? So I didn't trust my family members. So when you talk about network marketing, the first thing that people think about is a pyramid scheme. The person on top makes all the money, the people on the bottom will never make as much. And, at the time, I was making good money. I was already doing well for myself. I was a club promoter. We was one of the top club promoters in New York City. We was making 6 figures a year, doing that. Then my wife, she got pregnant. She said, you got to get a real job. It's time to grow up. So I ended up, doing counseling, became a drug counselor. So, I never knew that's what I wanted to do. But, situations came about where I ended up in the situation and I found a passion in doing it. And, I didn't know that that's what I was going to end up doing for the rest of my life, which is help people. And I found the passion for helping people. And, that just changed everything. So that was like my first introduction to personal development, because I went to the school for counseling. I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to teach people on how to become better. But the school was really focusing on how to make you a better person. So that was really big, so they worked on me. And that's where it was like, oh, I've changed in that it was like probably a 6-month course. And in that 6 months, I became a better person. And I found the passion in helping people because I came from substance abuse and drug addiction family and seen what were the repercussions of that. And, I wanted to show people you can get out of that and you can grow from that. You know what I mean? So I found myself doing that. It was fun. It was good, while it lasted, but then it became, all about, insurance and billing, and it wasn't about helping people no more. And once that happened, that's where it was like, I need something different. I had the club promotion. I was still making money doing that, but it just, I started to lose my interest in it. I wanted to be home with my kids, not in the clubs at night. You know what I mean? So, I was just looking for something else. And they say, the only reason why, after me being so negative and skeptical about the industry, my bro, Jay Peso, who, knew him before the industry, I seen him change his whole life. He was working at FedEx. He was a professional boxer. He was in the streets. And then now I see him traveling the world, speaking on stages, motivating people, and I'm like, nah, how? I was like, how is that? So, how I reached out. He called me and he was like, listen, I got something I want to show you. I was like, yeah, nah, it sounds like one of them things. I'm good. I'm not doing that. Not for me. And then I seen one of my friends had came home, he did a bid for like 4 or 5 years and he was looking for opportunity. And I'm like, I don't know how to help you. Like he was trying to find work, but because of his background, he couldn't find work. So it's like, that's what I found myself doing all the time, especially being a counselor. I was dealing with inmates, people coming home, and I would rehabilitate their mind to get inspired to try to do positive. And then corporate America was turning them down and they were getting discouraged. Right. It's like, how are they supposed to win? You're not giving them an opportunity to win. So that's where I started paying more attention to what my bro Jay Peso was doing when it came to network marketing. And they say you join it for 2 reasons. It's either inspiration or desperation. And I was working 80 hours a week. My wife, we had 2 kids. She was pregnant with the 3rd one. She was a stay-at-home mom. So all the financial burden was on me. So I was making good money, but I wasn't living a good life. I had no time. So from the outside looking in, everybody thought I was living this, extravagant, always in the club, partying lifestyle, but that's not what I wanted. I was empty. I was depressed. I was just in a really bad space. And so when I seen Jay's lifestyle of smiling and having fun and had time freedom, he was at the movie theaters at 3 p.m. while I was at my cubicle. I was like, nah, this can't be life. So I remember asking my supervisor, I was like, listen, what do I got to do to make more money so I don't have to work 2 jobs? And she said, you got to go get a college degree and you got to do a 2 to 4 year. And then from there, we'll sit down and we'll talk. And I didn't have time. I was like, there's no time for me to do it. I couldn't commit to that. So that's where I went into, I called my bro. I was like, yo, listen, I want to look at what you're doing. I'm interested. And my boy that's just came home is looking for opportunity as well. So I seen the information and he painted a vision for me. And it was that vision that really locked me in. At first, I wasn't a believer in the industry or in myself that I can do something like that. I'm an introverted person. So that was something where you had to get out of your comfort zone and try something out of the ordinary. So that's where it was like, I don't know if I can do this. But I took a leap of faith, man. I said, listen, if we spend this money on bottles and sneakers, why not? So I took a leap of faith, and ever since then, it's been 9 years now. Never looked back.
9 years, man. We all have a pivoting moment in our life, right? Was it like that as soon as you got into your business, into that industry, or did it take time for you to pivot and actually create this reality that you had in your mind and put it into real life?
So the first thing is, when you get into this industry is, they say go to your friends and family. So I went to the 10 closest friends and family members. It was 10 of my closest friends. They came to the house. I said, come to the crib, cooking some wings, got some drinks. There's a football game. And then I surprised them with, hey, I'm doing this business. And literally, they had nothing but jokes. It's a scam, it's a scheme. Yeah, bro. When I tell you, I felt so little. I felt like I got punched in the gut because that was out of my comfort zone. So to get rejected, I think that is the number one killer for all dreams is rejection.
Right.
And that was my first time being rejected by 10 of my closest friends who I thought were going to do it because of who I was. And no, they said, nah, I'm not doing it. So I got discouraged, but Jay said, listen, there's a training event coming up. And at that training event, you will be able to learn on how to, really, build this business. And at that training event, that was the defining moment for me. That's where the light bulb turned on for me. And I seen people winning from different backgrounds, different, color, different profession, different everything. I'd seen people that barely spoke English walk in stage talking about they're having success. I seen a hillbilly that says he pees off his porch driving tractors in his backyard having success. So when I seen that, I'm like, wait, if they can do it, I can do it. And that's where I built my level of belief. And ever since then, that's where I really turned it up. And I went and started hitting the ground running. Now, at first I was asking for permission. After that training event, I started painting a vision and I came with conviction. So they say in sales, the most certain person wins. After that training event, I was certain to change my life.
You was locked in.
It was over. And I went to people talking and speaking with that level of belief. I looked in their eyes like, listen, if you don't follow me, I'm going to make you regret it. And that's what I did for a whole year straight until I quit my job. 6 months later, quit the promoting. After that, it was like, yo, you wasn't BSing. You really did what you said you were going to do. And I said,
and I'm big on that. I'm big on if you say you're gonna do something, you gotta do it.
I have to.
Right? You gotta, because I hold myself accountable. So if I do that to myself, I'm definitely gonna do that to you. And I've heard this story, and I'm asking specific questions because I want you to give out those gems, right? Because it takes a certain person to be able to build any type of business, right? Anybody can do it, but it takes that certain mindset. And I've read plenty of personal development books and business books, and it's that mindset. Something has to click for you. You have to have that faith and that belief in yourself and be able to surround yourself with certain people that's going to help you elevate and get to that certain point, right? So when you got into the business, things weren't always peaches and cream, right? Things happen, right? Is there ever a point in your life where you felt like you wanted to quit and do something else?
So that first day I was going to quit.
Okay.
If I didn't go to the training, I would have quit. I would have never, ever followed through with building the business. I was going to quit. There's been multiple times that I've questioned it. There was a month after that, where I was already seeing some success. People were signing up, I was making money, and I still wanted to quit after that. Then there was like 6 months later, 8 months later, arguing with my wife. We was in the industry of travel. So, I remember coming home one day and I seen, my bags packed outside. I'm like, oh, we going on a trip? She was like, no, you're going somewhere else because you ain't staying here. So that was probably my biggest obstacle was, my wife, because she didn't, at the time we wasn't married, and she was just like, yo, you never home. You work 2 jobs. Now you picked on a side business. Like when me and the kids are going to get to see you and experience, having daddy at home. We don't do that. And now you gave up the little free time we do have to build a business part-time. Nah, that's not going to happen. So that was probably my biggest challenge. That was my biggest hurdle.
Wow, bro. So, I kind of built this podcast for my selfish, reasoning to be able to gain knowledge from people like you. Listen, I'm single as shit. And I feel like I can't be in a relationship because I work too much. And all I think about is building a business and building financial freedom for me and my son. What type of advice can you give someone like me and someone who's watching and listening, who's in that moment where they just want to grind and be able to live this certain lifestyle?
You know,
Is that toxic? Is that toxic to just be in this like hamster wheel and just keep doing the same thing over and over to try to build this certain type of freedom? Because I came from a family who didn't think the way I think right now. They wasn't thinking about the future. They was just thinking about getting by. They're not thinking about, trying to thrive and obtain all the things that you want in life, right? And I think certain things are material things, but if I believe in God, but I also believe in the law of attraction, and that kind of contradicts itself, right? People have their own beliefs, and I'm not going to put that on anybody. But I believe if God created it, I can have it.
It's a fact.
And that's why I work so hard, because I want to be able to leave something to my son, be able to leave something to my family, and create this door, this wave, this movement where my family can be good. Because if I don't, who will?
There's nothing wrong with having that. To be successful in anything, you're going to have that moment. They say it's going to take you anywhere from 3 to 7 years of hard, dedicated work to build anything. What happens is people don't commit that much time to one thing. They're trying to separate and they're trying to focus on multiple things. And it's like a jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
So if you put that energy on one thing, why not go build that foundation so that when you are ready to be with a queen, that she's got a castle and she has a kingdom to run. You know what I mean? Like she has somewhere to be. So I don't think it's a selfish thing, man. I think you got to do what you got to do for you. You know what I mean? And it's funny because some of the most selfless people are really the most selfish people. You're probably one of the first to admit
it. That's a fact, though. Because, man, I wasted so much time doing shit. And now that I'm actually doing something, I'm convinced, like, this is my purpose. This is my dream. Like, all I want to do is live my dreams and be able to spread that to other people. Spread positivity and give people the courage to be able to do what they want. Like, there's a lot of sacrifice that I make, and I'm sure there's a lot of sacrifices you make, and plenty of people who are successful, right? And it's not about success, it's about the freedom. Like, it's not a monetary thing. It's the freedom to be able to do what I want, when I want, with whoever I want. And that's what I care about the most. Like, for the past 2 years, man, I had a lot of people that are close to me. Like, there was deaths, there's people losing their jobs, and I'm like, man, if they had some type of freedom, one thing they don't have to worry about is money, right? Money's not everything, but it's a tool. Do you agree?
100%. There was a book I was reading, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, and they asked a question. They said, what's more important to you? Is it love or money? And if you choose one or the other, and so it's like the question, that you can ask me. I have 4 kids now. So it's like, which kid do you love the most?
Oh, that's crazy.
I don't love one more than the other.
Yeah.
I love them all the same.
Yeah.
Same thing. Money and love are just equally as important.
It's energy, bro.
You need both.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people feel guilty for wanting one over the other. Or some people, I'd rather happiness and over money. You know what I mean? And it's like, why not have both?
Yeah. You can, bro. You just gotta delegate your time. And I believe, man, when you follow your purpose and you follow your dreams and forget about the money will follow you, man.
For a fact.
That's a fact.
Yeah. If you're chasing money, you're never gonna catch it.
Exactly, bro. It's like a hamster wheel, man. Man, the first book I ever read was Think and Grow Rich. And I wasn't a reader. But that literally changed my mind. And I read it like 4 times because I'm like, yo, I'm dumb as shit. Yeah. What is he saying?
I was about to say, that's a hard book to start with.
Yeah. But then my man's was like, yo, read this book. It's called Who Moved My Cheese? And it's like easy, like, a 10th grade, a 10-year-old can read that. And I started realizing, like, yo, it's my mindset that's leading me to these directions. But anyway, enough about business. We know you're doing good. You're doing your thing, bro. You're doing good, bro. But as a husband, as a dad, how has it been? Because I know me growing up, we didn't have access to all the things we had access to. Now these kids have cell phone, they have the internet, they have social media. And I posted this a while ago, and you posted something similar. Like, I've done a lot of hard things in my life. The hardest thing I've ever done is raise a child. Bro, it's so difficult. He got a mind of his own, and I'm trying to teach him how to avoid these pitfalls and these holes. And I'm like, bro, yo, I literally just told you don't do that. It's not going to lead you nowhere. And he often comes to me like, yo, I should have listened. I'm like, yo, do you go through the same?
100%. Imagine you only got 1.
Yeah, I only got 1.
I got 4, and I got 3 girls, and we just had our baby boy. But, parenting is difficult, man. You try to put yourself when you were a child, and you try to think about what you want.
Project ourselves.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And it's just really hard to You know, am I too soft? Am I too disciplined? Am I too, aggressive? Am
Do
I
you ever
too
feel
strong?
guilty? Like,
All the time. Yeah, all the time, bro. And that's why I'm a yes man. You know, like I tell them yes to everything. And then I feel like that's not the right thing
does
to
your
do.
wife run the show?
She's more stern than I am. That's a fact.
Yeah.
She's definitely behind every strong man is a stronger woman.
Nice.
Yeah, she gets all the credit.
So talk about that, man. So you're raising 4 kids. How do you delegate your time? How do you parent? What's your parenting skills? I need to know, because oftentimes I feel like, my friends and family saying like, yo, you too strong. But then I have other people that see it from the outside in. It's like, yo, like, you let him do whatever. Like, this kid got money. This kid can go out whenever he wants. And he's a good kid. My son is the greatest, bro. He's not into the things that I was into. At his age, I already had him. He was already 1 year old.
It's crazy.
It's insane. So I'm like, you're way above me.
Yeah.
But being that you got 4 kids, bro, and you're building a business and you're doing all these things, how is it being a dad, man?
So the beautiful thing about network marketing, it gives you some time freedom. So the time freedom that I have, I definitely
Plug that shit in.
No, that thing has definitely been the foundation to everything, to who I am as a man, as a father, as everything. It's really added so much value to my life, where it filled my cup up, but now I'm able to fill up, the cup of my children and a cup of my friends and family members. You know what I mean? So, I owe everything to that industry. It's really changed me for the better. But having the time to be able to be there for the kids, I think for me, one of my philosophy is, love heals all. You know what I mean? So I love my kids a lot, and I showed them a lot of love. So
You was talking like that when you was in the hood?
I think it's what I felt, but I wouldn't express it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think,
Because you can't. You gotta put up this persona to be able to survive.
Because
right?
as soon as you show that you're soft, then
there's a whole bunch of sharks in a tank, and you don't want to be the little guppy.
You're gonna get tested. You know what I mean? So you got to show this different, image of who you are. But I think everybody, that's one of the things my wife says, is that you believe everybody is a good kid or has a good heart. You know what I mean? And I believe that. I think again, not the religious beliefs, but God planted something in your heart, and you have one for a reason. You know what I mean? It's just with everything that's happened in your life, it just builds you to have this wall up because you can't trust. There's so much trauma that's been projected on you. It's hard to, people say, oh, you could take them out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of them. No, you could take them out the hood, but you never healed the PTSD.
That's a fact.
They still have those demons that they're dealing
that's
with.
A fact.
And until you learn how to process and fix that person will never be healed. So there's a lot of people, I believe, that are still healing, and they need more healing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
this is my therapy. I feel like I heal through this, to hear people's stories and to hear their trials and tribulations and where they came from. And then it goes back to myself. I project myself on that. Like, well, I've been through something similar. I've gotten out of it. You've been through something 10 times worse. You've gotten out of it. So what I'm going through ain't shit. Yeah. Like, I like to project myself in that perspective, because it allows me to believe that the things that I go through really don't have that much power against me, right? Because listen, bro, when I was 13, I became deaf. Imagine you becoming deaf.
That's crazy.
Right? We go through life, bro. Financial, we lose people, we lose a lot of things. But imagine losing a sense. People don't think like that. It's like we go through oppression, we go through this, we go through, the cops being against us and injustice and all this shit. But imagine having cancer. Imagine losing a limb. There's the things that you can't control, right? What you focus on ultimately expands. So the things that you put in your mind that you can't control and you just go through it, can you have that type of personal development where you feel like this is meant to happen to me? Like, who says that? Right? Who has that mental strength and capacity to be like, yo, yeah, I lost my legs. It was meant to happen to me. And there's people out there like that. And I like to project that type of vision and that type of mindset so people can understand. It's like, yo, when you go through something, it's for a reason, right? There's a lesson and a blessing within whatever, trial and tribulation you may be going through. If there's something traumatic that you have experienced that kind of altered your mindset or perspective on life?
There's a lot of things, you know what I mean?
Things that you had no control of.
Yeah, well,
right? Because there's a difference when raised in an environment, and it's like, yeah, you don't have no control over that. But if you think a certain way, you may be able to avoid those pitfalls.
So again, starting from childhood, you know what I mean? Father in jail, did 10, 15 years, mother did 4 years. Those are things you can't control, and that's where the trauma started, you know what I mean? And that's where, you got to fend for yourself. And, thankfully we didn't end up in the, foster care system, because I had a grandmother that took in over 8 kids, because all her kids were suffering from alcohol and drug addiction. So, that was the beginning.
Yo, whoa, bro, not to cut you off. Life goes full circle. So
that's why I became a counselor.
Fucking crazy, bro. That shit is crazy.
Exactly. And that's where it was like, I hurt from that. And I was in my process of healing. And it was like, if I can heal, I can help others heal. And that's what I guess became my life purpose.
You should be a fucking pastor.
You're not the first person to say that.
Maybe because I don't know the real you.
That's funny.
You hot and shit? Are you different?
Not at all. Not at all.
My mic turned off? Nah, it's good.
There you go. See, that was the devil. That was the devil right there.
Yeah. But besides that, man, how's life, man? How's life treating you, man? We in a middle of pandemic, right? We in a time of history. Something that hasn't happened in, I think, 80 years since the Spanish flu or some shit like that?
Yeah, it's crazy. But they say history repeats itself. So you got to learn. You got to learn how to capitalize off of every situation. You know, we had a conversation, off camera, and it was, I told you this, a 3-step process that I guess everybody goes through, which is a thought process, right? So first is panic mode, then is thinking mode, and then is action mode, And so when this pandemic hit, a lot of people, the first reaction was to be in panic mode. They didn't know how to react. Some people went into thinking mode.
Were you in panic mode?
Of course, for 24 to 72 hours, you know what I mean? Imagine, from your income, because being
Talk that shit. I want to hear it. Talk that shit.
Being in the industry of travel, and now nobody can travel. So your income goes from here to all the way down here. Of course you're going to get panicky, but, everything that happened prior to that built me up to handle that a lot better. You know what I mean? So again, it goes with the whole, you go through shit, you grow through shit for a reason.
Yeah.
There's strength in the struggle. You know what I mean? And so stuff that happened prior to that helped build me up to handle the situation that the pandemic brought upon us. But you got to be calm, be still, and look for the lesson. What is God teaching me in this moment? What can I learn, and how can I capitalize and take advantage of the opportunity? Because while some people were stuck, there was other people making millions and billions of dollars. So you got to find out where's the need, because to every problem there's a solution. But
and that's why I think that's what's the difference between a business and an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur looks for problems so they can fix it.
Yes.
Right? A businessman just runs a business. When you're at that state of mind where you have a business and you just want to keep growing your business versus being an entrepreneur and realizing, well, this is an opening. This is an opening where I can capitalize.
Yeah, listen, you always got to be one step ahead of everybody. You got to be one step ahead of the competition. There's a reason why Elon Musk right now is number one. He wasn't number one. It was Jeff Bezos, right? And look at how he came up, because he's innovative. He's thinking about the future. Everything is changing right before our eyes. And some people are scared, and some people, the metaverse and this and that is coming, NFTs, everything online. So some people are looking at that. Yeah. So some people are scared of that whole situation, but one thing that is inevitable is change. Everybody changes. You change. Yeah, so
I got this shit on lock, my boy.
Yeah, so everything has changed. You know what I mean? And I think some people just are scared of change, but you have to understand it's part of life. Imagine your parents; they don't know how to use cell phones, smartphones nowadays. So imagine how they feel so left behind, and that's exactly where we at right now. When that whole metaverse and all this stuff that our kids are going to be into, we're going to be like, what? What is that? So if you are an entrepreneur and you have this mindset to learn to pivot and adjust, you need to start educating yourself on all of that, so you can be ready for everything that's coming.
Facts. Have you ever seen the movie The Surrogate with Bruce Willis?
No.
You got to check it out. It's like The Matrix on 1,000. It's basically like metaverse where you plug into this different universe, and you live your life. You have a job. You do everything you do except you connected to this metaverse.
It's crazy. I was having a conversation recently, and it was like, I think this whole pandemic was for this shift.
If you look at money, if you look at finances and stuff like that, and this is just my theory. I knew because I follow money. There was a big bidding trade between China and the U.S. dollar. And the China Yang was more powerful, was about to be more powerful than the U.S. dollar. Then all of a sudden we get into this pandemic. It's like, that changes everything.
100%. But even thinking about it, how everybody went to online. Everything was on Zooms, people working from home. What happened? No traffic, pollution wasn't as bad.
Right.
So from that to now, all of a sudden, hearing about this whole metaverse where everything will be online. Nike's buying rights to their stores for online.
They buying real estate in metaverse.
That's crazy.
Think about it. You in there, you see all these brands and companies, and you go into a store just like real life, and you're like, yo, these are the new Yeezys coming out.
It's crazy. Well, I was having a conversation with one of my boys, and he's in the industry with me, and he was like that. His brother was playing NBA 2K, right? I don't even know. I haven't played video games in a long time, but they were playing NBA 2K that he was playing, and he was like, listen, if you're gonna play, make sure you don't have the regular original sneakers that they have. Make sure you buy a pair. What? Like, it's crazy how it's already happening.
My son spent thousands of dollars
on the
on
gear.
Fortnite and gear, and I'm like, bro, what the fuck is that doing for you, bro?
So we need to invest in Roblox.
So that's what scares me. Is like, my son struggles with anxiety. He struggles with being around other people. He's socially awkward.
It's my daughter.
This is gonna amplify that.
Yeah. We was having that, me, my wife, and my 11-year-old, same thing. She doesn't like going up to the counter to ask somebody for something.
Yo, and I've been doing that to my son since he was a baby.
Yeah.
Yo, go, you want ketchup? Go get it.
Exactly.
They messed up on your order, tell them.
And she doesn't want to do it. She's so social online. Over the phone.
Yeah, my son is a shit online. He's super popular online. But when it comes face to face, he has these fidgets, bro. Like, he makes himself burp.
That's crazy.
Just to some type of release. He has a conversation with me. He's like, I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
Wow, that's crazy.
But I realize, I know, it's like, yo, he's having some type of anxiety right now. Like, I don't try to amplify that, but I'm like, yo, dude, if you was from where I was from, nigga, you get smacked doing something like that.
It's crazy though, but that just tells you the world we're moving into. So do you go against it or do you support it? You know what I mean? I feel.
But is the world getting to a place of being super soft?
It's superficial. Everybody online. Like, look at how you said how your son is online. Yeah. My daughter's online, but then in real life, you're not that, right? You got the trolls, right? These people who Instagram influencers who super successful but never achieved anything. Let me teach you how to get there, right?
Yeah.
So it's a world that is already happening, and so do you go against it? I believe, God, there's a human interaction. There's a need in the spirit. You need that. So it's something that we got to learn how to be more mindful that we're getting out there doing with our kids. So yesterday I went to the Friendsgiving. I brought my daughter with me. She was like, are there going to be kids around my age? I don't know, but you're coming with us. You know what I mean? And you have to get them to unplug every now and then because it's scary
and I said this before, like, I wait for my son to do something dumb. Just like, it could be the smallest thing, and I'm like, yo, give me your phone.
Yeah.
Mind you, he bought his own phone and pays for his own phone, but I'm like, yo, give me that. It's for the simple fact I want him to unplug. Like, this is reality. Think about it. When a woman has a child, the baby comes and it needs the chest to chest, like the flesh, right? Imagine if we go into this metaverse. Imagine having a baby on a different fucking universe.
Yeah. My wife was saying, imagine meeting someone online, and then when you get to see them interact face to face, you can't even interact with that person because you're not used to socializing physically. Crazy world.
And it's crazy because the industry that you're in is based on socializing. Like, you have to have some type of skill speaking. You have to. It's just what it is. And you have to be able to put yourself in uncomfortable situations to be able to be a chameleon.
But that's the dopest part. You got to pivot as well. So a lot of the majority of the business now is being ran through Zooms online.
So anybody can do it now.
Anybody, anywhere. It made it easier. The pandemic showed you can really, truly be a work from home individual and building a 6-figure income from the comfort of your home. It's crazy. It's a beautiful thing.
Crazy. Do you see yourself doing anything else besides what you got going on?
Network marketing is everything. I feel like, it took 300. So first of all, for the people that don't know what
Explain
marketing
that
is,
shit, because, bro, it literally in the 6 months that I was doing it, it changed my life. Right? It gave me a whole paradigm shift where I was able to realize the things that I was doing weren't in my benefit. And in order for me to get the benefits that I want, I had to step out of my comfort zone. And that was one of them. Number 2 was I was able to pay $270 and get a mentor who was making $1 million a year, which I was never a part of. It was literally, bro, I have a business, and we got a lot of success within the business within the year, but I have no mentors. No mentors. I'm doing it all alone. And it sucks.
It's hard.
And the overhead that we have, it's 10 million times more than having an overhead in the business that you run.
Yeah. So that's the beauty of, so network marketing is just basically is a business model, right? So everybody knows the regular business model structure, right? You got the boss, managers, then you got the workers, right? And the boss has all the responsibility, the owner, right? He owns everything. He has to pay the overhead. He has to pay the lights. He has to pay employees. He has to pay insurance. He pays for everything. So the beauty about, the network marketing industry is that you get to buy into a system that's already created for you. You don't have to worry about the bills. You don't have to worry about payroll. You don't have to worry about nothing. All you have to do is, it's like you becoming a franchisee of a business that you only paid a couple $100s into, and the return on investment is unlimited. It's up to you, the work that you put in. So that's what network marketing is. And, unfortunately, a lot of people, it's a pyramid
There's
scam.
a stigma. There's a stigma behind it. Why do you think? Because in every business that I've seen, there's a disclaimer, right? There's only 78 or 82, I don't know the exact number, percent of the people that don't make money, and the rest do. It's a small percentage. You one of them, you hit like some of the top ranks in the network marketing industry.
Yeah, so I think but it's, so basically a pyramid scheme. I think that's one of the biggest things. People, the person on top is making all the money and the people in the bottom will never make as much. I think people from the hood with the crab in the barrel mentality just never want to see somebody doing better than them that they know. They're quicker to support somebody they don't know. They're quicker to buy from brands that they don't know who the people are, because it's for the culture. So we're programmed to get a job. What is school? School teaches you to learn a skill, to go get a good job, right? Go to school, get good grades, go get a good job. So that's the system. So when you got people talking about working for yourself and being an entrepreneur or being in network marketing, right away, your alarm goes off like, wait, that's not what I was taught. That's not what I was learned. So that's why there's so much negativity towards the industry. But if you take the time to educate yourself, on what it is, and, if you find a company that has a product that you enjoy and you love, they say if you can sell it to your family and your mom, right, then you should stand behind that product.
Right.
But if it's something you don't feel comfortable sharing with your friends and family, then that's probably not a product you want to, a business and a product you want to sell or push.
Right. So how the hell you doing so good? Like, I want to know that. I want to give people the gems, right? Because a lot of people do have that fear, bro. It's that fear mentality. Seeing something different, they're interested, they're intrigued by the opportunity, but they scared. They scared. They don't think it's possible for them. And I do know you have to have a belief system within yourself, right? But that, bro, being in the network marketing industry for 6 months, it gave me that belief that I have right now. It allowed me to surround myself with people that were making $50,000, $60,000, $80,000 a month. Something that I never even heard of, like regular fucking people from the hood. And I'm like, bro, this is the best thing. You want to start a business? The best business to start is network marketing. I can salute and I'll put my life on the line for the simple fact it costs you a pair of sneakers, and you're going to be surrounded around people that have energy, people that are motivated, people that want to see the best in you, even if they don't benefit from that.
That's the crazy part.
Crazy, bro.
That's
I love it. It's just I just seen some stuff that turned me off. And And so on the flip side of that, it can be toxic, bro.
Of course. Yeah, like anything.
Like anything, bro. And that's the thing. Most people that can be great in this type of industry seen something or been through something that turns them off and they no longer have beliefs. I.e.
Yeah, man. I'm just too
Yo,
stuck.
but not to cut you off, but I still follow the program, bro. When I want to meet somebody, I form them. And
Yeah.
form is FORM. Friends, family, occupation, recreation, and then the message that you want to deliver. Bro, that's how I get girls.
It's crazy. My man became a closer. Going through the numbers. But that's the beauty. I think that was the most important thing you said, man. It cost, a couple of hundred, a pair of sneakers, a bottle that you spend in the club, to get into the industry. And I always say, man, even if I never made $1, I felt like I got my money's worth. Because what it did was it gave me the skill set, the mindset, and the skills that I need to be successful, anything and everything I put my mind to. You know what I mean? So that's the reason why I would never, ever stop building this industry because, and of course, this is the ATM. This is what you build your income up. You take that income and you diversify, you invest. That's exactly what I've been doing lately, investing in other things. And, you gotta, take chances because I learned from
the
mistakes.
world is changing, bro.
Yeah.
You have to take everything with a grain of salt and go with the punches, bro.
Exactly. So, so no matter what I do outside of network marketing and how successful I will become, I would always go back to help somebody else because you can make money doing anything. You can make money doing anything.
Bro, say that shit louder for the people in the back because, that's real deal facts. There's people that have shit products. I heard a story that there was a company, an industry in network marketing that was selling soap and a guy was making $1.2 million a month.
Yeah.
Selling fucking soap.
It's coffee.
Coffee? Am I on the right page?
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, what is your excuse, bro? What is your excuse? And listen, I'm not trying to bash nobody in the head, but I just want people to realize, like, you're in a situation because of the people you surround yourself with, one, and the mindset that you have. If you just step out of your comfort zone, you may find some benefit in that. Mm-hmm. And it may be uncomfortable eventually. That'll be comfortable and you have to do it again. It's repetitive. Like, I reached out to you. I don't know you from a hole in the wall, but I use the same model in the industry that you're in to be able to drag people in, right? Because this is free marketing for everybody that I bring on. But the value that I get, that you giving me right now is worth more than $1 million, bro. Because I'm going to take that and I'm going to run with it. With anybody that I sit down. And that's the thing, bro. Knowledge is fucking key, bro.
Yeah, applied knowledge.
Right.
Applied knowledge.
Yeah, exactly.
I know a couple librarians or book smart.
Right.
They ain't
No, there's a
applying it
difference, bro. I think common sense isn't common.
at all.
Right? You have to have that first. And then you can apply anything that you have purpose or passion in. And you take that and you build whatever it is you want to build. That's all it is, bro.
100%. And that's the beauty of it, man. Your network is your net worth. People say it all the time. You had somebody here talking about, if you got 5,000 followers but not $5,000, you're doing something wrong. And it's honestly speaking, what's the sense of having 1,000 friends if you can't make money together?
Yeah.
We should be pushing each other.
But is money everything, bro?
It's not. It's not everything. But it is up there with oxygen, right? Because it can give you everything you need to find out it can give you the time freedom you need to find out what is everything and what is your purpose,
Right.
And money will expose you. It will make you, it will show you who you really are, whether the good or bad, but it would expose you, for the good or the worse, you know what I mean? So, the more money I get is the more money I'm going to go help other people and change other people's lives and, create a foundation to employ my family. You know what I mean? I want to give my kids an option when they ready to become, adults and figure out what they want to do in life. First is invest in them, find out what their passions are, what are their dreams, and if I can build a business around them. So I'm teaching my kids how to be entrepreneurs, which I know you're doing.
You seen the movie Richard King?
I just watched it the other day.
Yo.
Really good movie, man.
Bro,
it's powerful.
I was laughing. I was crying. Like,
good.
it made me emotional. And I'm not an emotional person, bro. I'm a bleeding red.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very aggressive within myself. I guess I was just brought up that way. But this movie was like, everything that he was doing to his kids
He's programming his kids for success.
is what I've been trying to do for 17 years. And I'm like, how the fuck am I falling short?
But that's one of the things that I question my parenting.
Me
Because
too,
my
bro.
man was strict.
He was insane.
He was
bro.
he was strict, and he had a plan, and he was not doing anything to divert from that plan. What happens is we have a plan, but then we get soft.
We get hit in the face.
Yeah,
Like
and
Mike Tyson said.
Yeah,
it, bro.
everybody got
has a plan
so
is
you
to
get
get
punched in
hit.
your face, and then you got to pivot. But with our kids, we want our kids to have the best. But then I feel bad. Let me give them the phone back. I feel bad. Let me let them hang out with their friends.
Listen, not to cut you off, but this shit makes me excited because now I know I'm not the only person doing this.
Exactly.
Because, I'm strict as hell, but then I go a day, 2 days, and I'm like, I feel like shit. Like I'm a shit parent. Like I'm mentally abusing my son.
Yeah.
That's how I be feeling. But it's not. It's tough love, bro. Like, if I don't give it to you when you go out to the real world, that shit is going to hurt. And you're not going to be able to deal with that. I'm your dad. I want what's best for you. Like, and I'm only going to steer you in the right direction. If you don't listen to me, you're never going to be coachable. If you're not coachable, you're never going to be able to build anything.
Yeah. So all you can do is just give them, and teach them the game. Give them the values, instill the values in them, and just pray for the best. Because they're gonna have to learn on their own.
My man just said, throw him a Bible and see what happens.
They're gonna have to learn, man, some way, somehow, man. Because we all learn from our own mistakes. We all are hard headed when we was kids.
Yeah. And my son is 17, and he says that he's like, yo, you gotta let me learn. Exactly. You just gotta let me. You gotta let me be and let me go through this. And I'm like, yo, why waste time, bro? I'm at a pivotal moment in my life where I don't want to waste time. If I can avoid that for you, it's gonna save time for me.
Yeah.
But again, it goes back to like me projecting myself on my son.
Yeah, because the most important thing you said was my life.
Yeah.
Not his life.
Yeah. But also, I mean, his life too, man. I want him to be great in whatever it is he wants to do, bro. You want to play Fortnite? Come on, let's be the best at it.
Yeah. But if we not, so one of the biggest things when we understand, is that the kids got to learn we learn from failure.
Yeah.
Even being an entrepreneur, you have to go out there and do whatever it takes to go and fail as many times as possible. Because if you're not failing, that means you're not taking no risk. That means you're in your comfort zone. You probably got a 9 to 5, and you're gonna do that for the rest of your life. And it's going to take some courage to go out there and try something, and you're not going to be good at it. You're going to fall on your face, but you get back up. And so we got to just teach our kids to fall and get back up. Yeah. We got to throw them to the wolves' den, bro, because that's how they come back wearing some, that fire clothing.
Yeah. Nah, I hear that. But yo, when we talk about things like that, like looking, bro, this is why I love to travel. This is why I like to be like on planes and be high. Because when you look down, everything is small. And that's how I like to look at my problems. Like, it's so minute. If you compare, like, and I hate to do that, but you gotta compare. You compare what we going through, bro, to people living in third world countries. What they go through, what we go through is shit. What we worrying about? Money. These people worrying about getting water, bro.
It's crazy.
They worried about getting water, and that's what, like, I be trying to tell my son, like, you got it made in shade, bro. Like, I've made sacrifices so you can live this life. And I'm not trying to pressure my son and make him do anything that he doesn't want to do, right? But, bro, you want all these nice things? That shit's going to take sacrifice.
Yeah, one of the things that I spoke with my wife about was, our company, we do trips where we go to third world countries and we go build schools, orphanages. That what brought me. That's what, like, why I gravitated to that, because I became deaf when I was 13 years old, and it was a point in my life where I felt like I was alone, like the world was against me. I was being punished, and I can only imagine what other people feel on the other side of the world. They're not being listened to. They're going through oppression. They're being like slaves. For you to be able to do that, like, I salute and commend anybody that take their time, they take their assets and the things that they have in life to be able to help someone else in that form. Because bro, anybody can make money, like you said. Bro, it's so easy to make money. We in an economy right now where money is
People are throwing money out, bro. Go get it. Go get you some money.
You could just go to the strip club and pick it up.
Exactly.
They're
Look at
throwing it.
that. Look at that. Exactly. Exactly.
But I
But
think
not everybody has that. Not everybody has the same opportunity as me and you. And those are the type of values I try to instill in my son. It's like, yo, bro, yeah, things are all good and you want more. And I can appreciate that. But you got to tone it down a bit. Look at things from a bigger perspective.
yeah. But taking them on one of them trips will give them humility.
Exactly.
Showing them to see how good they got it. They need that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
That's
No,
one of the
we've
things.
done, bro. We went here in Tampa. We went to elderly homes. We threw bingo parties. We
Nice.
fed the homeless plenty of times, bro. Like I
Nice.
partnered with the food bank here in Tampa, bro.
Nice.
We drove and fed people. Like I try to do that.
It's good.
Like that's ultimately that's my goal, is to be able to bring this funnel and to be able to provide for other people, right? Because, bro, if you have all this money, what the fuck are you gonna do with it, right? Eventually, you get all these things, and you feel like your life is empty because that's what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
But then you can put somebody in a pedestal where they can win. And that's where I get the most gratitude and happiness. Thank you, I appreciate it. So, bro, listen, I appreciate it, man. I love talking to people like you that have this type of mindset, who's on this wave for thinking for bigger and better. And being that you have kids and can relate to my situation, bro, it just makes so much sense. And I think that's why I kind of gravitated towards you to get that understanding, because now I feel better about this conversation. And you being in this type of industry and you making waves and you living this lifestyle, bro, I can tell you for a fact that you're gonna do big things. And I don't need to tell you that. You know that. You believe in yourself enough to know that. You've been through the craziest shit I can only imagine. 9 years into this in marketing industry, right?
Yeah, 9 years.
9 years. You consider yourself a professional?
Yeah, it's what I do for a living. I do for a living. You know,
You
so
help people for a living. That's the way. That's why, when I changed my mindset to like, yo, I'm helping people. That's when I started plugging more people in.
yeah. And that's why I fell in love with it, because it was counseling on a whole nother level. So I'm still able to help people's mindset, but now I'm also able to give them an opportunity where it doesn't matter your background, doesn't matter what you've been through, your felonies or none of that, where you can go out there and apply whatever you learned, and that hunger and that ambition to
Right.
go out there and win at any level you want. But like you said, it's all on them. Their mindset, man, is big, man. I think a lot of people don't believe in themselves, man. People say freedom. We want freedom. Financial freedom is dope, but the real freedom is the freedom of other people's opinions. Once you learn to get that type of freedom, that's different. Because even as myself, before posting up a YouTube video or, going live, I'm worried about what is this person saying? What is this person thinking? And it's crazy. So the real freedom is freedom from everybody's bullshit opinions. You know what I mean? And when you learn to get that type of freedom, then you're truly going to be free.
Are you living like that? You feel like you're completely free from opinions and being categorized and boxed into this?
I'm free from that. Like, that doesn't bother me anymore. I am who I am. It's you're going to love me or you're going to love me. It's that simple.
Yo.
And it truly is.
Not to cut you off. I wish I met you sooner, bro.
Yeah,
Because I've seen the whole wave and stuff like that, but the things that was being put into my mind, it's like, nah, you got to stay away. You got to build this. You got to do all this other things, and that's not to
scarcity
shade
mentality.
anybody.
No, it's just scarcity mentality.
Yeah, bro.
People scared, separate, seclusion.
Nah, but
we need this. We need more of
I've
this.
seen that. Yeah, exactly. I seen that opportunity like this, doing exactly what we're doing right here. Because now I can take this and I can run. I can run. I can go home and I can reevaluate my situation and be like, yo, this is what I learned from this. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna make the best of it. Yo, so what's next for you?
What's next for me? Well, I'm still, my biggest thing is,
What's the secret?
No
That's an alley-oop.
Well, right. This, what's next is basically out, just to go out there and change more lives, man. Because I became successful. I've, I'm living a life that, I would never dreamed of living. First person in my family to purchase a home, immediate family, first person, to make a, 6-figure income, and, there's other people out there that's looking for more. There's right now in the time, like you said, there's in this pandemic, there's some that thrive, but there's a lot of people who are still behind. So the goal for me right now is to go out there and just save and help more people and show them that there is options out there. You know what I mean? And you can, do it very part-time and, go out there and impact the world, man. Like it's never ending, bro. I heard, the day you feel you finished, you're done. That's it. You're dead. There's a reason why we still breathing. It's never going to stop, so, helping and changing lives and inspiring and, motivating people is definitely going to be what I do forever. You know what I mean?
Love that, bro. I love that, man. So we're going to wrap it up right now, bro. Where can people find you?
My Instagram is Jay_AON, JAY_AON. That's for Instagram. That's Facebook. That's Twitter. That's Snapchat. That's YouTube. I don't be on half of them, but Instagram
you
is
better
the one
jump
for
on
me.
that, bro. You better jump on that, bro, because what you doing, like, bro, I would love to see that. Like the day in the life and the come up, the ins, the outs, the pros, the cons of that, bro. I love that, bro, because it's so much to show, bro.
It is. I have a lot of content. I'm gonna hire someone to create
You
it.
scared?
No. I need to get somebody to do it because my thing is
you got to do it yourself.
But see, and that's the thing, man. I think my time is more valuable.
You hear that?
No, my time is more valuable helping other people than
You don't think that? You have a listen. You said the biggest impact that we having right now is through the internet. If you can put everything together and be able to post that on the internet and share that with people, I think you'll be able to target people much faster.
For a fact. But I'd rather pay somebody to do that for me than
absolutely.
learn the skill myself. That's why I said I can't do it because I feel.
But that's something that's in your mind. You
of
want to
course. No, you have to.
Bro,
it's something
get
you
on the
have to
fucking
do.
YouTube way, bro. Monetize that. The AdSense, bro. Like people getting paid. That's another stream of income. But not only that, you're giving the people the value and letting people understand like what it really is to build a network marketing industry.
Yeah. No, that's definitely got to be the goal. For 2022 is get out there a lot more. On social media because I know the value that I bring. I know the impact that I can make. You know what I mean? And it's just like we just got to get it out there because even if you just change one person's life,
that's
your job is done.
Yeah, exactly. Bro, before we wrap it up, bro, I didn't get to ask you what does A.O.N stand for. I was fucked up. That was supposed to be the first thing I asked, but what does it stand for?
So basically, it was a mentality, and what it was all or nothing. That was just a mindset. You know what I mean? And so when
that's what it stands for, all or nothing.
Yeah, all or nothing. That's basically what it was. And so when I was looking to start the promotion company to do the parties, it was like all or nothing, all over New York, .com type situation. So that's where it just started off as a mentality. All or nothing. If we're gonna do this, we might as well go all in. Yeah. And so it was like, you know what? Let's do AONparties.com. And it was like all over New York, all or nothing. And, we started with that. And we did that for 12 years and we're very successful. And so we had a group of people that were following us with that. And I'm like, yo, if we could promote clubs, we could promote travel, we could promote lifestyle. So we just literally shifted and stopped promoting parties and started promoting lifestyle.
Well, there's still parties because you got to travel, bro.
Partying on
so
vacation.
Much shit.
Yeah.
Nice, like I would have fucking be with.
and so that's where it shifted to. You know what I mean?
I love that. I love that.
So now you got all or nothing fitness. I'm on a personal health journey. I've lost 65 pounds.
Ooh,
you know what I mean?
Talk about it. How you did that, man? I keep saying we gonna wrap it up, but nah, bro, we got more to talk about.
So I lost 65 pounds in the last year and a half. Doctor, I was so focused on making money, I wasn't focused on my health. And what is wealth without health?
Yeah, right.
Without it being able to enjoy it. So the doctor looked at me and said, listen, you're 30-something years old. If you don't change now, you're going to have the same fate as your father. My father passed away 6 years ago to cancer. And he was like, if you don't change your habits now and lose weight, you're going to have that same fate. And he's like, you got 4 kids. My youngest is 3 years old. So my father died at 53. You know what I mean? So if we're talking about, me making it to that at that age, and maybe my son won't even be an adult. So first is find your why. what hurts you. You got to find something to motivate you. WHY, what hurts you? And that was the pain. See, I was overweight for a long time, but I didn't have enough pain to motivate me to take action to change that situation. So once the doctor put it into perspective for me, that's when I took the action. And I started just working out, going to the gym, getting consistent, changed my diet. I've never been a person to take supplements, but I found some plant-based supplements, that I've been working with.
Talk about it.
And the plant-based supplements is some of the things you said. Magnesium, is greens. A lot of us don't eat the veggies that we're supposed to. So you talked about Dr. Sebi, having an alkaline or acidic body, so if you want to make sure that you don't have any of these diseases and, other things that happen to your body.
You can prevent
exactly.
And remove toxins from your body.
You need to get to, an alkaline state. So I started taking a bunch of products to get me to that alkaline state, eating better and just staying consistent, man, and just having fun in the gym, man. And, I've made a lot of money, in my life. I've been blessed, blessed and highly favored, man, to the man above for sure. But, I found myself chasing money for 7 years. Moved out here, we bought a house, bought 2 cars. And the outside, everything looked good, but I felt so empty. And I had to go see a therapist. And that's crazy because a lot of people are scared. They feel like that's weakness. No, you need a coach, right?
Right.
If you want to get fit, get a trainer. You want to get right mentally, get a coach. So I went to see a therapist, and the therapist was like, "You suffering from depression?" And I'm like, "How?" I travel the world. I speak on stages. I motivate people. I have a big organization that look up to me. I have success. How am I depressed? I'm not depressed. She said, "Cool, keep talking." And as I kept talking about my past and things that I've experienced, she connected the dots for me. She said, imagine your 5-year-old daughter experiencing some of the things that you experienced when your parents weren't around. How would she feel? And when she did that, I just literally broke down. And I was like, shit, you're right. I'm going through something. And she said, there's 3 things you got to do to help you through this process. She said, 1, sleep 8 hours, eat, right foods. And she said, exercise 30 minutes a day. And so doing those things is where I started to feel better. And that's the beginning of the whole fitness journey for me.
Wow, bro. Yo, thank you. Thank you for being vulnerable, bro. Thank you for being intimate with your stories and stuff like that. Thank God I didn't close up sooner, bro, because now I can understand why you go through this journey, why you're so serious about life and the things that you go through, because you literally go through life and death situations every single day just by eating the shit that you was eating.
Facts.
It was getting you closer to the end rather than the end goal.
Facts. And just being vulnerable about it, man. I think too much people got pride, too much people feel like that's not manly, you know what I mean? But
I think we're in a different age where you can, bro, where that's more acceptable. However, that's not what people gravitate to. Yeah. That's not what gets the clicks. That's not what gets the views. And I said that many times. I can make this into a ghetto ratchet, and we could talk about the scums and the end of the valley and wild shit. But I don't want to do that, bro. I want this to be able to share the platform with people like you, so you can share your story in hopes that it can motivate and inspire someone else. And everything that you said inspired me. So I'm sure and confident that a lot of people are going to be inspired by your story and your journey, and you continue to succeed and keep going, and how you have your mindset on helping other people. The focus is not on you. It's about the masses. And that's the main reason you're going to be able to succeed.
To me, that's success, brother. It's, at the end of the day, man, it's about the people you impact, man. When I die, my funeral, I want it to be full of people, telling their stories and letting my kids know how their father impacted them, because they always say it takes a village to raise your family, man. So when I'm not here, who's going to be around to raise my kids? Mm-hmm. So I want to make sure I'm planting those seeds now.
Ooh, we're going to end with that, man. Yo, I appreciate it, Jay.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you so much, man. Yo, so I want to give a shout out to the Cigar International over here in Brandon. They allow us to use their space. Their hospitality is crazy. Thank A.O.N, the owner, the manager of this place. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. So thank you guys for watching the Fine Podcast. Every week we bring on an interesting guest, and they get to share their story and be intimate with us, and in hopes that they inspire you guys. So if you're new around here, make sure you subscribe, and we see you next week. Peace.
Let's get it. Thanks for having me. See you at the top.